company. So to start, if you open your notes, just a recap of what we did last week. So we started using the CS50 IDE. And to get to the CS50 IDE, what I usually do, I just Google CS50 IDE, and it's gonna take me to that link. And if you want the link, I can put it on Slack. But that's what I usually do, is I just Google and I find out that it is, and then you sign in with your GitHub account. Okay, and as you know, there is a delay, but there is a less of a delay on Slack. Is one, did I do that? No, Notes is 3.2. So 3.2 because this is the third series, but it's the second week. So we started 1 in January, then 2, and then 3. And if we go to April, it'll be 4. So it's just for me to keep track of everything. But good point. Sometimes I just put 3.2, 3.2. So you will see sometimes I do. I'll make mistakes at. So you open your CS50 IDE, and if you remember to run it, you want to go. So if some of you will have folders here, if you started a couple weeks ago with Python, you most likely will have folders here. I'm going to show you how to make a folder. So if you don't have folders, so the first thing you have to do is just know that if you're not going to have this identical to me. So just to make this clear, this is my CSV, my IDE. So it's going to look different than any of you. And you don't have to make it look like mine either. That's like your directory, it's like your computer own directory or folder. Is each person computer is going to have a different version of that. So you don't have to make it identical. And you can choose any names you want. So I made a SQL file just to contain everything I'm going to do for this session. So if you want to do that, if you don't know how to do it, you go File, sorry. We're going to go, there is a better way. You go New File, you create a file, then you're going to save, File, Save As. And when you're going to save it, you can save this as a test. And then you can save it as a CSV file, but we're not going to use this. I'm just going to show you how to do this. So we're going to put this test CSV file inside a folder that we're going to create. So right here, it says create folder. Do you see that? There is a button here. It says create folder. And you have to make sure where you want to create a folder. So if you want the folder to be like the ones that I show you here, like my file or my SQL in the same level, you want to go and select the top directory. If you go inside, if you click here and highlight this folder, you're going to create a folder inside that folder. So let me show you what happens. So I go here and I'm going to create a folder. See, in this, my new folder, I'm going to call a new folder 1, and then I press enter. And see, it was created at the same level. And then I'm going to click save. Failed and erase it. So if I have a file that has the same name, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to call it somewhere else because it recognized that I already had that file somewhere else. So I'm going to put, today is March 11, so I'm going to call it March 11 CSV. And I'm going to go here at the top directory, create folder, new folder, and it's already, I'm gonna put 311, so it's a unique folder. I click save, and there is an error. I don't know what the error is, but so it didn't create my file. I don't know why. I did something wrong, but the good thing, it created a folder here. I can move this folder. If I move the folder inside here with my mouse, then that folder become a subfolder. So it's inside the main folder. I can move this folder to another place, and it goes inside. It's like a child of the main folder. I can also move it to the top directory here, and it goes to the same level than it was before. So let's try again. Hopefully I don't get an error. So I'm gonna put a new file, and I'm gonna click save as, and I'm just gonna put here March. I think I put a character that I wasn't supposed to put. So that's why. So I'm gonna save it inside this new folder, and you can, so now this file is inside that folder, and I can also move it inside other folders. Okay, so that's a quick review of what we're gonna do. So right now, I want you to make a folder. So you're gonna go here, because this one, it doesn't allow you to do this. You can also right click here, and so if you go here to the top directory and you right click with the mouse, right click, it'll get the option new folder, and then you're gonna call it something like SQL. So you know that's where you're gonna do all the work for this file. So you can do SQL class or something like that, and then you click enter, and that's where you're gonna put all the folders that we're gonna use. So any questions so far about that? And then you can delete this. I'm gonna delete these extra folders because there's too much stuff here. So I just click here, right click, and this is a duplicate. So I'm gonna delete. It says yes, and then delete this one because it's extra. So you wanna have this one. Okay, so right now, make a folder so you can put all your documents there. Then I'm gonna show you when we go to that point, I'm gonna show you how to upload that folder. But right now, yes, work on getting a folder right now. Then we're gonna have to go to that folder on that terminal. So this terminal is like a car that is parked right here on the top part. So you have to give it an address to go to the file where you wanna work. If you are here at the top folder and you say, I wanna run a file that is somewhere here, it's gonna give you an error because you are not given an address, a route to your terminal to find that folder. So for now, the best thing you can do is put the file in here. So we're gonna move our terminal to this folder. So how do we do that? So right now, if you type ls, it's gonna list you all the directories here. So you can see this is exactly what you have here. This is exactly the blue letters are folders and the black letters are file. Okay, so is that okay? Or we're lost, or I have to start again? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, if you lost the second window, if you lost the terminal, what you want to do is like, if you lose this, I'm going to close it. So you can go here, file, and then new terminal. And your new terminal is going to be there, and you can move it up here. I can just move it up here. Yeah. Okay. So you can just go here, file, new terminal, or you can go here. If you have this window here at the bottom, you can press that plus and you create a new terminal. Okay. And then if you don't want it, you can just close it. And so then we're gonna type ls. This little curly sign, it means that we are here at the top. You see that, how this matches, this icon here matches this icon, so it let us know we are in this floor. We need to go down a couple of floors. So we're gonna do ls, and it's gonna show you this a written list of what you have here. So it only gives you the top floor. It's like, you're not going to know all the apartments there in the building. You're only going to have an outside view of what you have on the building. Then you're going to do cd, and you're going to put the name of the file exactly as this type. So if I'm going to go here to, this is the folder that I work. I don't know what you name your folder, but this is the folder I'm going to go. I have to type exactly how it's written. So cd SQL files, and I have this, it's case sensitive. So press enter, and then the terminal is going to tell you right here in blue that you are in the right place. And also you can confirm it by doing ls, and it's going to list everything that is inside. You might not have anything because you created a file, so you're not going to have this. But then when we add files, you're going to have that. If you want to go up, you're going to do cd ... And then you are again at the top. And if you want to go to another file like SQL class, you do SQL class. And then that is empty. So when I type ls, it's going to be empty. There is nothing. And then I get out of there, cd ... And then I navigate to my other file, SQL files. And then I do ls, and that's, you don't have to do ls. I just do ls to show you. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to do, is put the terminal at the right place. Yeah, you can do, if you are versed on terminal Unix, yeah, I know there are a bunch of commands. So yeah, that's a good point. There are different ways to do this. And if you feel more that you work on it, you find more tricks. But so far, these are my best tricks I have, because I don't like to work on terminals. So I just stay there. I'm from the old, I used to do terminals when things got deleted. So I try to stay safe. When things start getting corrupted, and my computer growing up was deleted many times for people doing this. So you might remember that. So now we are in the file, we're there, and that's where you can start doing the environment. So remember last time we talked about starting the environment. So we're gonna do the environment, remember, is SQLite 3. So that's where we're gonna run the environment. So you can just put that, SQLite 3, enter, and then now you're running the SQLite 3 inside this folder, inside the folder where you took the terminal, where you took the car there, okay? So if you have any question, let me know, and I'll explain it again. Should we move the files we created last class? No, you shouldn't move anything right now. We're gonna start a brand new project, so don't move anything. So there is a question, should we move the files we created last class into this new folder? No, it's not necessary, but we're gonna start with a new project. So last week, we talked about the different commands for SQL. So we have distinct and upper. So anybody remember what distinct does?
Select all the unique items.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Yeah, and then upper.
Changes the case to uppercase.
Yeah, uppercase. Very good. Yeah, so thank you for Slack comments too. And then from is gonna be, it's gonna select this one. We uploaded, last week we uploaded a list of ice cream flavors and it selected the unique flavors from at the table, this table. So this is a syntax, and then we can also do lower and upper. So upper puts everything uppercase, lower puts everything lowercase. And then remember, when we are in this environment, if we upload something, we need to save it before we leave. We have to save it as DB. So DB is the database. So last week, we uploaded a CSV file, and then we save it. We put it in a database, but the database was in memory. So before we quit the SQL environment, we have to save it as a DB. So remember, as a DB. Today, it's going to be a little bit different. So just remember, if you open something and the SQLite 3 file is in memory until you save it, okay? And then you can exit by doing that exit. Because if you don't save it, it'll, and I'm sure some of you noticed that. Okay, so right now, let's work on that file that I told you about it. So you can file the file in Slack, or I'm gonna give you the file right now that we're gonna upload it. So this is the file that you wanna download into your computer. So you press here, download, and it'll download to your computer. So you can go now and download it and try to find it, because sometimes it's hard to find where you download it. So make sure you know where it went in your computer. And then now we're gonna upload it to the right folder. So the folder that you created, your SQL, we're going to upload the file. So, so I'm waiting for everybody to download their file. And then we're gonna go here, file, and then upload local file. And then you're gonna move that file into here, or you can do select file and find your file. And I'm gonna I'm not gonna do the same file because it'll mess it up. I'm gonna do another one that I have here. Yeah, you can drag it. You can drag it. So I just you upload your favorite TV shows file. I'm gonna upload something else so I don't have extra ones. So I'm gonna do open, but you can drag it and make sure it's uploaded to the folder that you just created for a SQL. Okay, and then you close this, and you're gonna notice if it worked, that your file is in the right folder. If that file is not in the right folder, because maybe it went here or went somewhere, Just go ahead with your mouse and drag it inside the same folder. Okay. One thing you can do in the future, not today, in the future, because it's gonna take a little bit of tweaking, is create a subfolder where you keep all your CSV files. So I can have, this is Python, so imagine it's a SQL file. I can be at this level, at the level here, which is above the folder where I keep the CSV file. I can call these files. So I don't have to have it in the same folder. I can have in a child directory, in a child folder, I can have my CSV files. That's fine. However, you're gonna have to put a file path. You're gonna have to put extra information. So you will have, like, for example, for this one, the file path, I'm gonna put it here so you can see it. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. Let me get a note. So, and it didn't work. So, so this copy file path, and you're gonna have to put extra information. So I have here this file, and you're gonna have to put this. So in addition to the name, you're gonna have to put this extra information. So next time we can do something like that. But for today, just make sure your CSV file is in the same location where your terminal is, okay? But some of you, might have more experience, so you have to have it in this ID, you have to have it as a child. You cannot have it up. You have to have it below of where you are running your terminal. So if your terminal is here, you're running on this folder, you can have a subfolder that you can call, but you cannot have a file that is outside, parallel, or above where you're running. Even if you use the path, it won't work, because it's like the terminal works top down. It doesn't work up. It's not going to look for anything up or on the side. It's going to look for things down. Okay. So we can try that next week, but it is too much information. I just wanted to make that clear in case you were wondering. Okay, so we are here on the SQL file, my file. You make sure you are in the correct file, you're running the environment. You're gonna put the favorite show, the favorite TV show, in the same position where you are running your terminal. And that works for Python too. If you are running Python, you wanna have your Python file and your data file right beside each other, or as a child, but right beside each other. Okay, so now we can call this file. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a database from the beginning, and then we're gonna put these favorite TV shows as a table inside a database. Okay, so let's try that. So everybody's good. So everybody should have this favorite TV show CSV uploaded at the same location where you're running your terminal. So hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, you're gonna get an error, but that's fine. So it's not working. So the first thing we got to do is put the mode CSV So I'm gonna put this, so you're gonna write that mode CSV in your terminal. So try that. And then you're gonna try, you're gonna open, you're gonna create. It's actually, it says open, but it's actually create a database. I'm gonna call it shows. You can call it TV shows. It's up to you. It's not a unique name. You can make a name for your database that you're gonna create. So we're gonna put CSV that mode CSV. So we tell the database we're gonna do CSV files, and then we're gonna do open, and a quote shows that the DB quote. Okay, and you're gonna see right here on your file, if it works, if the open shows DB worked, you're gonna see it right here. So everybody saw it, that it showed up right here. So it should show up. Good, good, good. So that proof it works. for 2 people on Slack, it worked. So I'm happy. Okay, it's 3 people now. Good. So now the next thing is to bring the CSV file. Good, 4 people. So feel better. Yeah, Ning does work. So now we need to import. And remember, this part needs to match exactly the name of the file. So sometimes your computer will change the name. Some computers do that. So make sure the file that is here, that is in your IDE needs to match everything. So what I usually do, I just right click and I just do the rename and just copy paste the name. Okay, so I know that is for sure. So we're gonna put this in the IDE. So let me put it here. And this is, of course, this code that I'm gonna put in Slack, it just depends on what your file is named. Oh, I don't, wildcard, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just doing it this way. You can try the wildcard if you prefer. But right now, I'm gonna import the CSV file I uploaded. And then this part is up to you. I'm just gonna call it shows table. So I'm gonna import the CSV file into the database called shows. And then I'm gonna name the file, the CSV file is gonna be part of a table that I'm gonna name shows table. It just changed the file name and shortened it. I don't understand. Just change the file name and shorten it. Oh, in your computer shorten it. So, so I just press enter, and now this CSV file is part of a table inside the database. I don't understand what, there's some people on Slack there, and I'm lost. I'm sorry, I can't understand what is going on. No, that's fine. I wish I could help, but I don't understand the context. Okay. Okay. So the main thing is, so how do you know that it's right? So you're gonna do that tables, click enter. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. So when you do rename, make sure you type .cbs. Okay, so let me see. I know, sorry, I didn't explain it well. So I'll do this rename. I copy paste it. Let me get my notes. So I'm gonna copy paste it and I'm gonna put, if I write it on the IDE, I'm gonna put quotes. And then at the end of the file, because that's the only thing it didn't come up, I'm gonna put CSV and then quotes. Does it make sense? So Kagesh, yeah, so that's what it is. The other way to do that, because you can see this is very hard to type because there is a lot of white space. And if you base the white space, and white space for us humans is very hard to gauge. So how do you know is that 2 double space or 1 white space? You don't know. So that's why I always copy paste it. And that's why you see a lot of people put the underscore. So the other thing you can do, copy the file path, but then you will have to delete a lot, right? You will have to delete all this. So, you know, it's whatever is easier for you. But trying to type this into the IDE exactly, you're just asking for trouble. Yeah, you're just asking for trouble, okay? So after you do that, if you don't get any error in the IDE, if you made any mistakes here, that anything is not the same, or the file, maybe this file is somewhere else, maybe this file is here in this folder, you're gonna get an error, okay? So let's try to see if we get an error. So import, and this file doesn't exist. And you see that it's gonna be an error. So yeah, cannot open hello CSV because hello CSV doesn't exist. And if I find a file that is here, like I can file a file that is here, like ice cream. So let's do with a file that exists, import ice cream CSV ice cream. See if it finds it. No, cannot open. Oh, I spell it incorrect. Import. See, that's what happened. It's easier to just copy paste it, but I didn't do that. So I'm going to follow my own advice. So ice cream. So import something, but let's see if it's there. Oh, it's imported. So it works. So everything I said, it didn't work. It works now. So yeah, I proved my theory wrong, but sometimes it doesn't work. So you just have to be careful. If you get an error, it's because maybe there is something going on here. So, oh no, this one is in the same folder, sorry. Silly me, here. This is what I wanna do. Sorry. So copy paste, so now it won't work. Import CSV test, and it shouldn't
You
work.
put a comma before import instead of a period.
Thank you. Yeah. Import, and it should, we should get an error now. Yeah. Yeah. So I was right. Yeah. So do not call a file. So the moral of the story, don't call a file that is not in your folder where your terminal is, because it's not going to find it. So this folder is in another place. It's like, you can tell people to find something that is in your house. So if you're in your house, say find something, and you left that at work, you know, it's not going to happen. So that's what it is. So make sure if you get an error doing this, most likely it's because your file is not in the right place, or you don't type it right. Okay, so we did that. now to make sure now I have 2 tables. You don't have to have 2 tables, but I have 2 tables. To make sure the table is in the database, you just type that tables, and it shows table, which is now the one I created here, shows tables. And if you go to your database shows and you double click, you can see a preview of it. So this is the front view. So you can see you're gonna have 1 table only. You're not gonna have 2 tables. So this is the interface that you can use to see the table, but we're programming. So in theory, you can use this view, but we're learning how to do SQL, so we don't have to use the interface. So you're gonna have, if you double click on it, you're gonna see your show table. If you click on it, you're gonna see a preview also of what is in there. Okay, so but now we're gonna get the preview here. And there was by Porter, are we creating a table without the create command? Yes. Because you are, yes. We're gonna create something later, but right now we just bring in that data and put it into database. So it's technically it's create a table, but it is in SQL is not what it is. So we can do the schema. The schema is to know what the structure of that table. So since I have 2 tables here, I have to put the name of the table because I messed up. So I have to, if you have only 1 table, you can just write schema and it will give you the schema. But since I have 2 tables, I make my life more difficult. Then so this is very important because it's gonna tell you what is inside, what kind of data you have inside. So in this case, it's very easy. You have a column, it's a timestamp. So you know timestamp, what it looks like, a text, a title is a text, and genre is a text. So the data types are all text. So you know, so imagine that you don't have access to this, or maybe it takes too long to upload that table, that database. So you can really get the information. So now you know what kind of information, what kind of data types you're dealing with. Now we're gonna get a preview. So we're gonna do only a preview of the first 10. So you do only the first 10 items. So we don't wanna get everything. We're gonna get only the first 10. So we do select, and then we do the asterisk to select all the columns, and then from, and you specify the table, and you limit to 10 rows. So that it'll give you a preview. So imagine you have 1,000 data points, you don't want to output all of them. So you get a preview and you know, oh, okay, this is what it looks like. So you have an understanding what the data looks like. So you have the timestamp, comma, then the title, comma, and then the genre. So if you don't know, this is a list of movies, of TV shows, favorite TV shows for freshmen in college last summer. So there was a survey taken online of freshmen that were taking computer science class, and they were asked your favorite shows and to put the genre, and yeah, it limits the top 10. The top 10, not the bottom 10. Great question, the top 10. So they enter their favorite shows. So so that's what this is. So with that information, you know that without knowing what it is, what happened, the background, you can really tell, oh, this is a list of TV shows. So in the genre, so you have understanding what that is. So the next thing we're gonna do, we can select all the titles. So we can also select only one of the columns. So instead of printing all the columns, we can maybe just print the column called title. So remember, there is a column called title. That has to be exactly typed, and it's gonna give you the list of everything that is in the title column. So you can start browsing what they look like. Okay, so why are we doing this? The whole point of getting the survey is find out what is the most popular show that was last summer for freshman students. So you can see here there's some repetitions. So you can see here Game of Thrones. So it looks like Game of Thrones is very popular. You can browse through The Office, The Big Bang Theory, but what is the most popular? So that's what we need to find out. So the next code that we're gonna use, the other thing, this list is unorganized, so we need to organize it. So you can tell, if you go to the output, you see that it's unorganized, right? There is no alphabetical order, there is no any order. So we need to group them by title. So the group by is gonna start putting the ones that are similar together. So that's gonna help us to find out, to start organizing this. So we're gonna do group by. So I'm gonna put the code on Slack. So go ahead and enter that code while I'll go and enter too. And now you're gonna see that they start getting together, right? You see it's everything that is similar is grouped by. So we're getting a trend here. So everything is starting to get more organized. So, but still there is no information because we have to start counting, right? So let's just see what's the next thing we need to do. So you can see the difference between group by not using it. You can see the difference because the output start grouping things. So it's getting organized. Now we start counting. So when we start grouping together, we start counting. So let's put this. And the count, the command count is a function, is gonna start counting the entries under title. So what it's gonna do here is gonna select the column title. It's gonna count the titles. So it's gonna count from this table and it's gonna group them. So it's gonna put them together. So what you're gonna get if you did it on your side. So let me know if I'm going too fast. You're gonna get a printout like this. So the first line, it'll be title, count, and then you're gonna see here, and it's added, see this comma, it's added another column, that's where you have the count. So it's gonna count by all in the title, anything that is the same, anything is the same. So you can see here on Game of Thrones, it counts, but it counts like, for example, this one, it counts 26. So there are 26 here, there is one here, this 5-1, this one. So why didn't count them all? Why we need to put parentheses for title? Because that's the syntax. So, that's the syntax. The syntax is you have to count and you have to put it, what is going to count, you're going to put that in parentheses. That's just the syntax. And
Israel, sorry, I didn't mean for count. I'm talking about select statement. You like earlier example, we did not put a parenthesis around the field name or column name, like select
because
title.
The syntax is getting more complicated. So you can, for select title, this one, you're right. You can leave it. It should work without the parentheses. It's just, it looks more organized. So this parenthesis, right?
Right.
Yeah, you can leave it without it, but we're gonna start adding things to it. We're gonna start adding, and the syntax is it's like a math equation. When you have x plus 1, you can see that. But then if you start multiplying or dividing, you're gonna need parentheses and brackets. So it's just that same thing. So this is what I'm just preparing to add things to it. So I preemptively added that parenthesis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So so I just add this parentheses because we're gonna start adding functions to it. And notice I put the comma here, so this select is title, and then it's gonna count title. So the syntax is getting a little bit more complex. And yes, right, a lot of people put their answers on Slack. Yes, the case is different, so the computer doesn't read them as different. There is maybe white space that we cannot see, but it's there. Maybe the spelling, there is a games versus game here. So there's different variations. So we need to account for that variation. So how can we ignore case? If we can ignore case by making everything what? Uppercase, right? So here it is why the question that somebody just had, why I have parentheses, because I knew I had to use upper. So I'm going to put everything upper. But if I put upper here on the title, I need to group by upper too. So notice that if I put here upper, I need to group by upper, because otherwise it's gonna keep grouping without considering that. So you have to do it on both sides. So try that code and see if it works for you. And now when you try that code, everything is gonna go upper in the computer. So now the count, our count should change. So for example, for the Game of Thrones, it changed from 25 to 33 because we had a lot of those lowercase like you all mentioned. So we put upper. Okay, but so the count changed, and we still have some variations. For example, the office here, we have white space, we have Game of Thrones. So this is something that is hurting us because somebody misspelled. So this is more a design issue than a problem. So we can preemptively, when we design that, have maybe a list of all the shows so people can choose it instead of having people typing. So this is something that we'll have to fix another way. But right now we can fix the white space. So, but before we do that, when we get the answer for the counts, but this answer right now is not getting us anything because this is just a list of information. And all we want to know is the most popular shows, at least the top 5. So we need to put it in some order. And you guys remember when the people that did Python with me, it took a lot of code to be able to order by value instead of by the title. So which is the key. Remember the key and the value. So right now it's ordered by the title or the key, and we need to reorder by the value. So we're gonna use this code here, and we're gonna put in descending order. So the descending order is gonna make everything go from the biggest to the smallest. So we're gonna do select upper, count from shows table, group by, order by count. So we're gonna tell them order, group by, so get them all together, the similar ones, and then order by the value, by the count. And then we put DSSC, which is the descending order. So if you run the code I just put there, you should be able to get the most popular show is gonna be at the top. Did I give you the wrong code? Sorry, I copy pasted wrong. Sorry, my fault. Let me see if this one. Yeah, I got it now. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. So try this one. This is the correct one. So now when you run the correct one, the one I just put there, so you're gonna have the most popular and then the descending order. And you can also limit. You can put also limit. You can go here. I think I did it here. The top most popular, you can put at the end, limit 5, and it will be the top 5. Okay? And then if you wanna do trim the white space, so it's gonna trim like we did it in Python at the front and at the back. We're gonna do now, see how those, you see how the parentheses now become like equations, like when we do equations in algebra. So now it's title, trim, upper. So try this one and it'll trim the white space. And there it is. So try that one, and that's gonna give you the trim. So now you're gonna see that some of the values are gonna get updated because we now included in the count as the same one, the Friends, the Office, and Sherlock, the number changed because some of their titles have extra space. Don't see trim. Did I do it wrong again? Sorry, I'm copying pasting the wrongs. My mouse, I think, is running out of battery, so bear with me. So you're gonna do here. Okay, I got the trim now. Yes, it removed the trim from the beginning of the word and the end of the word. So if you have a space, but it has, for example, we have some here. So this one, the Office, this is gonna trim it. And also if there was a space here after the quote. So the quotes were put, they weren't put by people. This is a form, and when people type, the form captured a string, so that's why they have the quotes. I think it will make a difference if you do the upper and trim, if you flip it. You just, I don't think so. You can try it, but I think logically you want to do the less invasive first. So you want to slowly tweak it. So the trim is going to remove the space. So then everything is going to be upper. So you don't have to the machine doesn't have to do extra work, because basically the machine will read the white space and put it up too, put it in upper case. In theory, we don't see it, but the computer is doing that. So trimming before sending everything to uppercase is just save time memory wise. It just teeny tiny bits of seconds, millisecond, milliseconds. But in computer science, people are very finicky about the order of things. Okay, so we will see the rest next week. So next week we'll